What's up, everybody? Back in the shop on a Saturday on the 62 Impala project. And where we last left off, we were planning to kind of clear these cars out and get the rolling chassis stuck underneath the body. I was in progress or in the process of using the cherry picker there to raise the car up so we could get it a bit higher to allow for the chassis to clear the body and roll under there nicely. But I started having some problems with the 63 here. Wasn't starting. First I had fuel issues, and I started having ignition issues with, and I also ran into a battery problem too. So it's a, consequence of leaving the car sitting for too long. I haven't really done anything with it, and I just said for all intents and purposes right now, I don't have a whole lot of time at the shop today, so I'm going to mess with it a little bit, but I don't know how much. I mean, we'll eventually, it ain't no big deal. We'll get it started because it's something minor. But in the meantime, I want to get back on the body work. We pretty much have this lower quarter in good enough shape for now. When I lift it up a little bit more, I'm going to do, there's like one low spot on the rear section there that I want to address. But I want to jump on the top portion of the quarter. And now that we got the deck lid on there, I got to do some adjustment and try to get the fitment a little bit better and then see what I need to do because it does look like it's going to need a little bit of massaging of the gap. And there's some evidence that somebody previously had built it up a little bit with some filler and then somebody sanded it down. As you recall, this quarter has been partially replaced. So in the process, they must have did some work there and it didn't fall exact, but no biggie. We're gonna get it right or as close to right as possible. So we'll get on that. Maybe even, depending on how time goes, sand this trunk a little bit because I'd like to get it in primer, at least looking more uniform. You guys know I already told y'all that kind of messes with me to see it multiple colors, and we're planning to use this trunk or deck lid or whatever you want to call it. So we're gonna try to make it as decent as possible. We also have to do some body work on it. I got the one piece outside. I'll show it to you guys in the next clip that I'm gonna have to cut out and section into this deck lid because it's been hard to just find one. I've been checking Marketplace and it's not like there's just a bunch of them floating around. Likewise for the doors. Gonna have to use this door. It needs a little repair in the lower area, and gonna use this cowl panel, wiper cowl off of the 4-door. And this door I hope to be able to reskin it, but I don't have the skin yet, and I've never done that before. So I'm holding off because I think the skin is like $400. I'm trying my best to hold off to see if I don't just come across a cleaner door that I can work with. Because I'd much rather just put a door on there that I just maybe need to patch a little bit or ideally just scuff and shoot. But we'll see. So that's it. I'm hoping to get some work done on that upper quarter. And I may go ahead and just raise the car up today, get it on the blocks the way it needs to be so that when I do get the cars moved, I'll be able to get the chassis under here. We'll see. Stretch target next week to get the chassis under there to give me some time to work on this bad boy. I think I'm gonna try throwing I ordered a new coil for it, so I'm gonna try throwing that on there. In worst case, I'm thinking I'm gonna just go ahead and upgrade it to HEI distributor. I got one laying around here, and I definitely got a distributor cap and coil for HEI. What I have to check is plug wires, but I think I have enough old plug wires around here to make that happen. So we might do that too. We'll see. But nevertheless, just stay tuned. The saga continues, work goes on, and we're trying to make something happen with the Deuce today. So stick with me. We'll be back in a sec. Okay, guys, so back on the car. We gave it a once over. I mean, I hand sanded on it for a while, and then I broke out the air file. And honestly, it's not that bad. As you can see, in no time, I was down to metal in this area and in a couple other spots. But it looked like they just wiped a skim coat over this area, and it doesn't continue all the way. Well, we'll sand and see, but from basically this rear C and D pillar forward, it feels good. It's nice and smooth. It has the slight curvature that it should have to match the body lines, and right in here it kind of smooths out, but it's in good shape. You know, we're down the middle right away, and they just put some filler over there and didn't do a good job of sanding it or sanding it at all. You can see little imperfections and, you know, pinholes and things that a little glaze and putty will fill in. But I'm gonna spend some more time sanding on it to get it as flat as possible before I start to apply any filler on my end. But all in all, I'm happy to see that it's not bad. We'll still need a little bit of work, but it's nothing we can't handle. So let's see what we can get together there. Let me take you guys outside and show you the other piece of this trunk that we're gonna splice and hang tight. Yeah, so this is it, guys. As you can see, it's in good shape. Well, I mean, it's not perfect. We got a little spot there, but maybe I'll cut it to where we don't have to deal with that, because this whole thing's kind of separated from the inner trunk structure. That's gonna work in our favor. So we'll cut it, and I'll try to maybe like splice it right at the trim line, because all of this is kind of compromised on the other deck lid that we got there. So we'll get it together. Yep, and this one was an SS. Got the holes for the SS emblem there. But we're not trying to make any SS clone. The car we got inside could have been an SS, but it's not clear. Trim tag is gone and a couple other things. But in 62, you can't just look at the VIN and tell. But yeah, so anyway, we'll be good. We'll be able to snatch that piece off, and we'll get it together, get it spliced into that trunk. But before we get to doing all of that, we're gonna want to finish that little body work on the top of the driver's side quarter. We already did it on this side, got it all nice and smoothed out. So just got to do the same here. And again, it's not bad. Just a couple spots like that, a low spot here, a low spot there. It won't take much. We're gonna use very little filler and some glaze and putty, and I think it'll be good to go. Did feel like right here there's something going on, so I gotta look into that and a couple other things. But all in all, this quarter has come a long way. It's almost there where we need it to be, so that we can shoot the whole car, you know, eventually with some high build primer and continue to block and get it as flat as possible. Like I said, we got to work on this trunk adjustment some more, and some of it is with the latch. I can already, you know, it's kind of cocked this way a little bit, so it explains why that end is sticking up, but I'm still not sure why it's pinching down in that corner, but we'll see. That's it for now, guys. I'll keep going, and I'll come back to you when I have a little more progress. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned. The video is not over yet. Peace. All right, people, we sanded on it a bit more, and we went ahead and applied some filler. A thin coat along there, and we had a slight spot there and right here. So, and it's just a little bit. So we're just giving that some time to set up, and we're gonna come back and sand it out and see what we got. So hopefully we got all the imperfections in one go, but we'll see. Anything else, it's, you know, it's so minor that we'll probably just use the glaze putty to round it out. But yep, that's where we're at. Be back in a few. All right, everybody, so we're back. Been sanding on the car for a while. You guys know we applied a little filler and we sanded it out, and everything came out really nice. Sanded out really nicely. Everything is nice and flat and in a good way. Sorry about that glare. Need to maybe turn these other lights off here. But yeah, things are coming along. Damn, that's hot. Yeah, let me just unplug it. Yeah, I think that's better. But yeah, so it's coming out pretty good. Pretty damn good. Honestly, I think it's done. I'll run my hand over it live here. Feels really good. I think I'm gonna hit this area by hand a little bit. It feels a little bit chunky there. I might need to go ahead and blend that all the way up into here, or just continue to sand it out. It's kind of awkward because there's a contour right there that still needs a little work. This right here is good, feathered out nicely. Yeah, I think it's good, man. It's good. feel something. Oh, there's something right here. Yeah, see this little spot right here? That's kind of a slight low spot. Okay, so this is what we'll do. We're gonna go ahead and hit this area with some glaze putty, and right here as well. I'm gonna bring it from here all the way and just wipe this whole area and then sand that by hand. Well, maybe I'll take a stab at sanding it by hand first with that small round hand block, and we'll see what happens, and I'll come back to it. Yep, almost there though. Almost there. I want to get it in some primer, so let me knock this out and I'll come right back to you guys. Hold tight. All right, guys, there we go. We hit it with the glaze and putty. I went ahead and got a little bit aggressive with it here, but just to make it like an extra nice smooth transition into it. And then this little part here, I was conservative and just took care of the little spot. Then we had a little low spot. You know, it's just real thin. It was a light low spot, so we don't need to go all heavy with any heavy filler or anything. Just this little bit of glaze putty to do it, and that'll stand out real nice and easy. And I actually put a little more hardener than I intended to, so it should set up pretty fast. So we'll go ahead and give it a chance to set up, and then we'll come back and wipe it or sand it, and then we should be good to hit it with some primer. So hang tight. Let's see if we can't get the top of the quarter looking good and accomplish the mission for today. Shawnee C at Motor City Customs. Be right back with a little more progress, guys. Yeah. All right, guys, there it is. We got as far as we could for today. Got it in primer. Now that it's primed, there's a couple of imperfections that jump out, but nothing major. Just stuff we can hit with glaze putty, like as you can see there, you know, like some little pinholes and gouges that I didn't see beforehand. And there's a couple spots where it could use some more primer on it. But all in all, it came out really nice. I'm happy with it. When I come back in on Monday, I have a little more time to get this area 100% done. But we're almost there. Almost there. I'd say we're 85%. There's a couple more spots. I'm just going to go ahead and skim with the glaze putty and just sand it all out 100%. And it's going to be A1. Then we can move on, guys. So progress continues. We're getting there. I did get a little bit better trunk fitment. It's not closed right now, but I found one of the issues I had, there was like a chunk of filler right in the groove where the trunk has to sit. So that was part of the problem. But it still needs some adjustment. I didn't even get a chance to mess with the latch or anything, and we already know that's off. But it'll be coming along. We'll get on that stuff when we come back in on Monday. I also got some parts coming for the 63. I think I'm pretty much convinced now I'm gonna just go ahead and convert it over to HEI, drop a distributor in there. I got cap and I had to get some plug wires. I didn't want to use the used crappy wires that I have laying around here. So we just got a fresh set, and it was cheap enough, you know. So we're gonna put some new distributor and some plug wires on there and see if we can't get it started. I also did buy electric fuel pump for it. It seems to be getting fuel now, but we'll see. Worst case scenario, I might throw a electric fuel pump on it too to make it a lot more user friendly. You just turn the key and that bad boy's gonna start. You don't have to wait to be pumping up the carburetor and get gas, etc. to the carb. But anyway, back to the 62, the main focus. Coming right along. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We'll keep pushing and try to get a little more progress on Monday. If you enjoyed the content, hit the like button. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. And most of all, hit that like button if you enjoyed what you see today. Have a good one, and we'll be back on the car real soon. Shawnee C at Motor City Customs. That's all for today. Peace.